Thank you for joining our information session. I'm Bruce Kirsch with REFAI Certification, and we have a great information session for you today. We're going to talk about REFAI Certification, which stands for Real Estate Finance and Investments, and we are going to talk about the origins of the program, the basis of the curriculum, and how you can use it to benefit you. But really, I think the most relevant, most important thing right now is why real estate and why real estate right now. And I'm sure many of you are already in the field, and those who aren't in the field are monitoring the news about commercial real estate. But we're basically sitting here at the end of 2024 like a rocket ship is sitting on a launch pad, and you've got the boosters sort of warming up and they're starting to spew smoke. And we're basically at the beginning of what I think is going to be a tremendous period of expansion and growth. And you want to be on that rocket ship, essentially. And if you're already on the rocket ship, you want to be in the best position possible, right? The real estate business is a cyclical business, and we have downturns, which I think it's safe to say we have just gone through significant downturn, but we, after the downturns, have the ups, and we're poised to go through the up cycle, which is the good value creating portion of the commercial real estate cycle. And this is pretty evident in the moves that some of the largest, most sophisticated players have made over the last handful of months. We have Blackstone, who raised their largest real estate private equity fund ever, more than $30 billion. We have KKR coming out and saying to the public, 2024 could be the sweet spot to make real estate acquisitions and then ride those valuations up for the next 5 or 6 or 7 years. We have articles that are talking about how buildings in major commercial districts such as Manhattan selling at almost 100% discount. Okay, when my wife saw that headline, she said to me, she sent it and she said to me, "Oh, this is terrible." And I said to her, "No, on the contrary, this is great, because if you have buildings in Manhattan, office buildings in Manhattan selling at almost 100% discount, you can't go any more than 100% discount." And so we're at the turning point, as it were. And brokerages have also made the call that the multifamily market has bottomed out. Goldman Sachs coming out and saying, we're not headed for a recession. Major asset managers are getting ready. And it's really your opportunity and your chance to get ready now, such that you can be properly educated and have the skills and the knowledge and the confidence that you need and that you want to have to thrive in commercial real estate in one or more of the highly coveted positions in commercial real estate over this next portion of the real estate cycle. And so we all know that the Fed lowered the target rate a few weeks ago, and we are all anticipating further rate reductions in the target rate by the Fed. And so this correlates very highly with rising real estate valuation, rising real estate prices. And this is how we create value, and this is how we make money in commercial real estate is as values go up. And as I said, my feeling is that we're basically on the rocket launch pad. We're in the rocket. The boosters are starting to smoke, and we're going to take off very, very shortly here. And so we want to know, what do we need in order to thrive in this next period, in this next portion of the cycle? And you need knowledge, naturally, and you need skills. And you also need validation, and you also need credibility. And one of the ways to get validation and credibility is through not just taking a course, but through getting a certification. And REFAI certification is a terrific option for you. It can help give you competitive advantage in the job market. It can help you advance in your career. It can help give you footing for negotiating more attractive compensation. It can most certainly give you access to a community of like-minded individuals and give you access to networking opportunities. And so this is the opportunity that lies in front of you right now. We have a tremendous alumni base, people at some of the very top firms in the business across the country, around the world. And one of them, Matthew Shell, is an acquisitions associate at Pacific Industrial in Long Beach, California. And he sums it up very nicely when he says, people really will give you credit for REFI because they know its rigor. And we'll talk more about the curriculum and the rigor of the course and why that makes it valuable. And so let's go ahead and talk next about, well, who benefits from REFI? Who takes REFI? Who are the individuals who get on that rocket ship, as it were? And what are the jobs that they're either in right now and looking to rise up in or are targeting for their next role? Okay, generally speaking, REFI is for students and professionals. And on the student front, you have undergraduate students and graduate students, and also recent graduates. And then on the professional front, you really have professionals across the spectrum, people working in commercial real estate, in acquisitions, in asset management, in property management, on the lending side, and so on, as well as entrepreneurial individuals, people who are running their own portfolios, perhaps even at a relatively young age, running their own portfolios, running a portfolio perhaps of residential properties, single family, and looking to expand and grow that portfolio and scale up their overall business into multifamily and into commercial, office, industrial, and retail, and so on. And we also have career switchers, so people who are professionals in other disciplines, and successful in those disciplines, and want to transition into commercial real estate, including those coming from the construction side and former professional athletes, high performers, and former military members, special operations, infantry, other divisions of our military branches. And really, a lot of these individuals are targeting these analyst and associate profile positions. And showing some recent data here for analyst roles. This is some data that I've gathered through my network, real-time data in the US for analyst roles, a combination of base and bonus compensation, anywhere between $100,000 and $150,000 a year. And on the associate level, anywhere between $175,000 and $50,000 a year. A lot of these roles will also lead into, eventually, positions that have equity, ownership stakes in individual projects, in these companies themselves. And this is sort of the starting point to enter into that potential pool of individuals who are going to be considered to be owners of, and owners in employer corporate platforms as well. A lot of these roles, as we said, have the title analyst in them and associate in them. And so we're just showing here a nice variety of them: private equity analyst, investment analyst, development associate, development manager, and so on. People who want to go into investment sales are also interested in the REFI program. People who want to be entrepreneurs, right, are also interested in the REFI program. And so this is the group of individuals that generally is engaging with REFI and leveraging it to allow them to accomplish their career goals in commercial real estate. And there are others. Naturally, not everyone is listed here, but there are others. And the good thing about REFI is that it's basically background agnostic, meaning we'll teach you about commercial real estate and get you the skills that you need no matter what walk of life you're coming from. And so if you want to learn, we're going to be able to get you to that point of understanding the principles and the concepts and the constructs and getting you the hard technical skills in Microsoft Excel that you need in order to perform critical analyses for transaction opportunities and so on. And so REFI really is an amazing opportunity, and I will tell you some more about it now. Okay, so why should you choose REFI in particular? REFI is the most well-known option out there. You generally speaking, when you're looking at certifications, you're looking at the reputation. And REFI has the reputation as the most comprehensive program. It's certainly the most rigorous program and most challenging program. This is not a check the box course. If you want a check the box course, you're going to have to look elsewhere. If you want a very rigorous course that is going to bear fruit rapidly and will be an asset to you over the course of your entire career, knowledge-wise and skills-wise and network-wise, then look here. REFI is for you. We have alumni, as we said, at a lot of the top platforms in the commercial real estate business. I'm showing a handful of logos here on the right. And we also have a unique offering in that when you get REFI certification, you're actually getting not just one, but 4 certifications. And 2 of those 4 you can have within arguably the first weekend that you start the course if you choose. And so what we're seeing now, right now, we're running our fall cohort. What we're seeing is people are updating their resumes in real time as they accomplish these achievements and as they are passing certain levels of the Excel for Real Estate certification, which is part of the REFI curriculum. They're updating their resumes, they're updating their LinkedIn profiles accordingly. Another reason to choose REFI in particular is that we have 2 very flexible learning options. And in addition, we offer lifetime support and lifetime access to the course. A lot of other courses are going to pull the plug on you after 90 days, after half a year. We never do that. I've been running real estate financial modeling for 15 years. I've never removed somebody's access to any of our training programs, to any of our platform, to any of our resources. I don't believe in it. And REFI is the same. So what are the goals of the program? Again, regardless of your background, regardless of where you are now, we're going to help you gain solid theoretical and technical grounding in commercial real estate finance and investments and in Microsoft Excel as it applies specifically to commercial real estate. We're going to help you become a more critical thinker with respect to the business of real estate, okay, across different property types and asset classes and transaction types, leases, acquisitions, developments, private equity funds. You're going to be able to think in all of those terms and across all of those types of opportunities in an intelligent, structured manner. And generally speaking, you're going to be well-versed in the language of real estate. You're going to be able to speak the language, talk the talk of real estate with confidence. You're going to be able to have in-depth conversations about the current market, about the historical market, and about what you think the opportunities are out there for you, for your firm, and also what you perceive risks to be. Okay, so as a brief summary, what are the things that you're going to be able to do as you go through REFI and come out of REFI? Well, you're going to be able to look at a property's current income, current expenses, and forecast their projected income over multiple years and projected expenses over multiple years. You're going to be able to manage multiple layers of debt financing. How do you model these things into a transaction? What are the benefits? What are the costs of using mezzanine debt as opposed to just senior debt? You'll be able to value properties, take a look at what price do I think this property is attractive. Okay, every asset is attractive at some price. The question is, at what price do you find it attractive? And you'll gain the skills and the knowledge and the orientation to be able to put together a mosaic that's going to inform your assessment of value. You'll also be able to quantify net wealth that's created through the 4 main methods of exiting an investment. We'll talk more about that in a few moments. You'll be able to solve for returns to equity investors, not only at the aggregate deal level, but also at the individual joint venture partner level, which is a very highly coveted skill set. And you'll be able to model transactions, not only acquisitions, but also development transactions. Okay. A little bit of background on me. I'm, again, Bruce Kirsch, founder of Real Estate Financial Modeling. I've been in commercial real estate for more than 2 decades. I've been providing commercial real estate skill certifications since 2011, and I have a background in commercial real estate on the principal side. I work for two Washington, D.C. real estate development firms and am currently a commercial real estate investor across strategies, across markets. I am a trainer in Excel-based financial modeling to multiple Blackstone portfolio companies, to Brookfield, to Greystar. And I've served as financial modeling consultant to large platforms such as Rockefeller Group, Grosvenor, Hines, as well as entrepreneurial players. And I've also been a provider for more than a decade of institutional grade Microsoft Excel-based templates for transaction analysis. And the DNA of that tool set, of that suite of tools, is present in the teaching materials and in the bonus tools that you get when you do REFAI. And last, I've been a private coach to students and professionals over the last 15 years and have provided the market with resources for free, such as introduction of the real estate business, spreadsheet best practices, keyboard shortcuts sheets, other webinar content that's based on my experience as somebody working for a principal investment platform, as well as a trainer and consultant. One of the things that I was lucky to be involved with, my company served as consultant to the Wharf, which is one of the most spectacular major mixed-use projects probably in the world. And I helped with their direction to build a financial model that allowed them to go to market and secure the largest construction loan in Washington, D.C. history, almost $850 million. I was actually based in Washington, D.C. at the time, and I was also on the faculty while working full-time, also on the adjunct faculty at Georgetown. And while I was on the adjunct faculty at Georgetown teaching real estate finance, I reached out to my former professor, Dr. Peter Linneman. I'll tell you about him more in a moment. But I said, Peter, I'm teaching real estate finance. I need a book. And he said, well, that's fantastic because we're still publishing the book. And this book is known colloquially as the Blue Bible of real estate. It's been nicknamed that by readers, professionals, students, and it's been adopted over time by more than 125 colleges and universities, as well as large players such as Tishman Speyer and Blackstone and CBRE. And a book doesn't get the moniker that, includes the word Bible in it for nothing. It's a brilliant textbook, and I give credit to Peter Linneman for the brilliance in the book. I am now a co-author of the book, and so I've assisted with its development over the years. But really, I want to tell you a little bit more about the brains behind the book, which is Dr. Peter Linneman. So I had Peter as a professor when I was in business school at Wharton, and he was actually the founding chair of the Wharton School's real estate department, as well as the director of the Zell-Lurie Center for 13 years. And Peter is one of these individuals who I like to say some people are blessed with sort of two helpings of brains. Most of us get one helping of brains. Some people get two helpings of brains. I put Peter in that category, but that's not what's important. What's important is that he's applied his tremendous intellect to help explain the world of commercial real estate to the world. And that's very much evident in the textbook itself, as well as his long-running Linneman letter, which has been in publication for almost 25 years. Peter himself has been teaching in real estate, investing in real estate for almost 45 years. He has a list of accolades that could fill up an entire slide deck. I'm going to keep it very brief and say that he's been named as one of the most 25 influential people in real estate. He served as the chairman of Rockefeller Center Properties in the sale of Rockefeller Center out of foreclosure. He's been a private equity fund manager, and he is an active commercial real estate investor today. And he is a terrific individual as well, to boot. Among all those accomplishments, he's also one of the nicest people I've ever met. And so Peter and I have worked to bring this terrific curriculum to the world, not just to keep it amongst the Wharton School's student body, but rather to open it up to everyone so that everyone can have the high quality of his teaching and the insight that he helps bring to individuals who want to master commercial real estate. And so let's talk a little bit more about the curriculum. And we break out the curriculum basically into 12 modules. The 12 modules are represented here by these individual badges, and I'm going to step through them in a moment. And basically, we are going to give you a comprehensive tour of the commercial real estate business. And so let's step into the curriculum, and then we'll talk about the different formats that you can use to master this curriculum. Okay, prerequisites is something that's incredibly important. We're going to make sure that everybody has the base knowledge and skills that they need to thrive in the rest of the course and throughout their careers. And this module, like the others, is multimedia in nature. There's reading involved in the textbook, which serves really as the backbone of the course, the textbook does, as well as video and audio and quizzing and certification exam. This is the module in which you'll pick up that first REFM Excel for Real Estate certification and be able to get that on your resume rapidly. The next thing that we go into is the topic of risks and opportunities, and we'll go through multiple chapters that talk about how do we look at the world of commercial real estate? How do we quantify certain risks? How do we mitigate certain risks? And what is real estate in terms of the different property types? And what are the idiosyncrasies of the different property types? Who owns real estate? Who lends on real estate? Who is an equity owner of real estate? You'll get the entire lay of the land on those items. Next, we'll move into leases, talking about the basis of contractual revenue, which is one of the unique elements of commercial real estate, is you have contractual revenue, long-term revenue in leases. We'll talk about all the risk mitigation elements that are present in leases and how to model a lease from the landlord perspective, from the tenant perspective. Then we'll move to the property level, look at projection modeling at the property level. We'll look at multifamily, we'll look at retail, we'll look at industrial, but we're going to walk you through this very important tool line by line and make sure that absolutely everything is crystal clear and you have a good knowledge of what the various lines mean, as well as a command of how to manipulate inputs in the model to reveal certain changes in outputs and perhaps reveal risks that you didn't know were there, such as how sensitive your equity returns are to changes in certain key variables. We'll do a very deep dive on capitalization rates, which most people call cap rates. And you're going to learn more about cap rates in this module than you will anywhere else. The reading is terrific. The video is absolutely fantastic. And you're going to have such a strong grasp of cap rates that you'll find yourself explaining cap rates and their various characteristics and how they correlate to interest rates and capital flows to other people. You're going to be the one that people are going to look to for those types of explanations. We'll do development pro forma analysis. We'll build development models. We'll look at back of the envelope analyses. We'll look at multi-period analyses that produce an IRR. And we'll look at different property types and talk about and solve mathematically for the value of a development site, given a whole host of assumptions. We'll also dive into the world of the use of debt financing and the idea of capital structuring, and how do we put together 2 or more sources of capital, perhaps up to 5 sources of capital, to capitalize a transaction, make it feasible, make it possible, and then benefit from use of that particular capital structure. We'll also talk about the risks of using debt. Okay, everything comes at a cost. That's one of the lessons that you'll learn in the course of the program. And this is going to open your eyes to those potential risks, not just the potential upside and potential benefits, but also the potential risks. Every investment, naturally, you need to go into with some plan of how you might exit. And so we'll talk in depth about what are the 4 different ways you can exit a commercial real estate investment. And we'll also talk about some more nuanced topics, such as a ground lease, which is a less common but very important type of financing mechanism. And we'll get into good detail there as well. We'll talk about corporate real estate valuation. We'll talk about private equity, the history of the private equity business. We'll talk about individual transaction joint ventures. We'll get the skills that are necessary to do a very sophisticated, reliable modeling of equity joint venture waterfalls. We'll also talk about cycles in more depth, talk about the real estate market. How do you understand what markets, what metropolitan areas might be ripe for growth, might be those that are accelerating in terms of growth, might be decelerating in terms of growth. Where do you want to place your bets? These types of things are going to be addressed, and you'll gain insight on all of them. Additionally, we'll talk about public real estate investment vehicles, private real estate investment vehicles. How have these two pools of investments fared over the past? How do we expect them to fare going into the future? What are the things that have really changed in the real estate business over the last 2 or 3 decades? And what are the things that we structurally expect to change in the next 2 or 3 decades? Okay, we'll also look at some elements of corporate real estate, where we address the very important decision of how do you decide whether you should, as a company, lease your space or own your space. Okay, and then we'll touch upon some of the common characteristics of real estate entrepreneurs. Okay, what makes them tick? What makes certain entrepreneurs successful and others less so? And when we get to the end of the curriculum, we're going to celebrate you. We're going to celebrate you online on LinkedIn. We do this for absolutely every one of our graduates. We give personalized LinkedIn post showing your actual certificate and congratulating you publicly on the big accomplishment that you've made in completing REFAI and earning the certification. As I mentioned earlier, we have 2 flexible formats. Both of these offer lifetime access. The initial offering of REFAI, the original format, is a self-paced format, and that has been going for more than 5 years and has produced a tremendous base of alumni who are rising up in the commercial real estate business. We also have a cohort-based format, and we're currently in week 7 of our first cohort. It's an 8-week synchronized process where we set goals for completing certain content and getting through a certain amount of achievement of badges. At this point, we're in week 7, and our cohort has earned 12 badges out of the 17 or 18 in total. And so they're making tremendous progress. They're updating their resumes in real time. They're reaching out to one another because there is a networking component to the cohort offering. They're reaching out to one another. They're making connections. They're putting themselves out there and saying, this is who I am. This is what I'm looking to do. These are my skills. Here's my resume. And they're also connecting with each other for potential transaction opportunities on the leasing side, on the investment side, on the development side. Okay, the next cohort is going to kick off on January 20th. We are open for enrollment on that next cohort. It's something that we don't overload in terms of students. It's a very intimate group where we make sure that everyone has the proper attention. And it's something that we only offer 3 times a year. And it's a level of support that you really don't see in any other courses. We have group office hours twice a week, not once a week, twice a week. We have private coaching with me, not with a teaching assistant, with me. That's something that nobody else is able to offer. The private coaching can take a number of different forms. It can be anything from a resume review to talking about how to chart out your career path, to doing highly technical waterfall modeling, to doing a job interview test simulation. Okay, beyond the 8 weeks in the cohort, during which you have great group momentum, great group motivation, and peers, the course continues to close out the curriculum material and get the final overarching REFI certification. Okay, as I said, you have these relationship building opportunities with this ever expanding alumni base, and we're also helping to facilitate in-person meeting opportunities We've had some recent meetings of those type on the West Coast, and we're going to do similar on the East Coast. The cohort offering gives a hard copy certificate as well as a digital certificate. The self-paced offering gives a digital certificate and gives you the ultimate flexibility to start immediately. You can start right after this webinar if you want. Okay, both courses give the textbook in hard copy. Both include support, both include an online access for life, as well as forum opportunities to ask questions. I personally moderate the forum as co-author of the textbook and co-author of the course. You're getting the absolute best support that you could possibly get. How do you enroll? For cohort, which starts on January 20th, but we're taking enrollments now, you can enroll online. Same with self-paced, you can enroll online. And the cohort price is $3,299. We do have highly discounted pricing for the segments that are people who are working full-time in nonprofit and in people who are students. Okay, I'm going to put a couple links in the chat here and here they are. These are links that you can find helpful for enrollment or getting that actual salary data that we showed before by downloading our brochure. The self-paced format is $1,999, discounted for nonprofit, discounted for students. We also have a promotion to save 25% off any of these list prices that apply to you by coming with a friend or a peer, colleague, relative that you want to bring onto this learning journey at the same time. You can reach out to us at refi@getrefm.com to get access to the special coupon code to make that happen. Additionally, if you're already an REFM or REFI self-paced customer, you can upgrade either to self-paced, cohort, or if you're in self-paced, upgrade to cohort. And we'll give you a 100% credit for anything that you or your employer or your sponsor has already paid. You'll get a dollar for dollar credit towards the full enrollment cost of whatever it is that you're looking to pursue. Okay, and so I'm gonna take some questions now. We had questions that came in advance, as well as questions that have come in, and I'm opening it up for questions from you all now as well. And so the first one that I'll address is, how's the program going to help me get an analyst position or an internship? An important question, a good question. And the answer is, it's going to get you educated and it's going to get you credibility. You cannot compete for these types of positions, the highly coveted positions, the high profile internships, without having some very serious baseline level of knowledge in commercial real estate, in financial modeling, in Excel. And REFI is built literally to give you all of those things that you need to be competitive. Next question is, for the cohort, is the support active or passive? We have live group office hours twice a week with me, and we have open discussion about that week's content as well as any other real estate topics. I would consider it to be very active. To the extent that you want to engage with it, it's there. And we send out recordings of the sessions so that you can, if you don't attend in person, still benefit from the conversations that are being had as well. Another question, is the math that we teach beneficial to a commercial real estate broker that focuses primarily on small scale real estate? 100%. Okay, all the math in real estate is exactly the same, no matter if you're doing a duplex or a 1,000-unit portfolio. It's all the same principles. You just have more zeros or fewer zeros, depending on what you're pursuing. Okay. You also need to keep in mind that you may be working on smaller, more boutique projects now, but presumably you have your eyes set on larger opportunities going forward. Next question, is the course going to teach us the Excel part of it? Yes, we assume that you know nothing about Excel, and we build you from 0 to 100. You're going to come out of this with serious, strong Excel skills, confidence, the ability to continue to learn about how Excel can be leveraged as a tool in commercial real estate. And we don't leave anything out. We give you bonus resources as well and bonus tools as well. Question that came through, I'm studying overseas in the spring. What's the schedule of the cohort look like? It's going to start January 20th and it's going to go through April. And as I said, the live component, the synchronous component of cohort is the office hours. And then when you decide you want to schedule coaching, that naturally too is live and synchronous. But as far as your engagement with the reading and the consumption of the video and the audio and doing the quizzing, that's really 100% based on the flexibility in your own schedule. So you have the ability to choose the best times for you to do the learning and to do the quizzing and so on. Another question is, I completed the self-paced course back in 2018. Can I upgrade even though it's so long ago? I don't discriminate. I want you to learn. I don't care if it was 2 months ago or 20 years ago. You're a customer. I support your learning and development. Please just reach out to me, and whatever, as I said, whatever you paid, you'll get 100% credit for. And yes, we'd love to have you in the cohort starting in January. Now, the cohort, as I said, it's not unlimited seating, so it's not the type of thing where you want to necessarily wait until the last possible moment to enroll, because you want to make sure that you get a seat. And we encourage you to set up a consultation with me for any questions about REFAI. I put the link to consultations in the chat, and I am encouraging you to go ahead and right now book a consultation with me. We'll chat, and you can tell me what your goals are and where you are now, and I can tell you how REFAI might be beneficial to you and whether it's a good fit. Okay, I'll also tell you if it's not a good fit. I am interested in helping to support your learning and your development in commercial real estate as a professional, as part of the commercial real estate community. And I'm going to steer you where I think you're going to get the benefits that you're looking for. We're going to wrap it up here because I want to be respectful of your time and the schedule that we set forth. I am once again encouraging you to go ahead and book the consultation, and let's talk about your goals. And beyond that, you can enroll, as we said, online, and we're happy to answer any questions. If anything else, anyone else has a question now, I'm monitoring the Q&A, but please feel free to, if you wish, certainly unmute your mic and just ask away. Okay, well, I appreciate everybody joining us. I hope this was helpful, and if you haven't done so, go to the REFAI website, download the brochure, take a look at all the detail that's in there. The curriculum is very deeply defined and highly detailed there. We are happy to share the recording of this session, and so stay tuned. Keep your eyes peeled for an email from us tomorrow with the recording, and we hope that REFAI can be a terrific springboard for you. Want you to get on this rocket ship as we prepare for launch here. So thanks very much. I wish you all the best of luck, and hopefully we can be helpful. Thanks.